Are you worried about germs when you go out in public? Do you avoid touching things or wear gloves because you don't know what's on all those surfaces? I know I do. I don't like any of that stuff. So a company called Stat Gear sent me a product in the mail. Here's what it is. It's actually called Hygiene Hand, and they say they are the originators of the, quote, COVID key. That's what we're going to look at today. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I look at some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like it. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below so you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. Now, let's take a closer look at Hygiene Hand to see if it can help us out. All right, so let's take a look in our package here that we received. So what do we get? Anything else in there? Nope. All right, so I have my actual Hygiene Hand. I think it retails for about $25. I have seen it on Amazon. And look, this is cool. Oh, very nice. Hook this on your belt loop and you can have this. That's a nice feature. What are these? Oh, they sent me a bunch of stickers. Cool. All right, so what I want to do, let me open this real quick, is I want to take a closer look at this. And I have my COVID key that I did a review on not too long ago right over here too. They're both made out of brass. They're both antimicrobial. And they both, well, they can use touchscreens. That's kind of cool. So look at the difference here. Top one is my COVID key. This one is the one we're looking at today by Stat Gear called Hygiene Hand. I already can tell that this one is a lot thicker. Probably twice as thick. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. Yep, about twice as thick. I will say, however, the finger hole is smaller. This one I can fit my whole finger in. This one not so much. I don't see a spot in the front where I can lock and unlock doors with this one, but I see that here. But it is interesting. I'm going to be trying this out, and I do actually like the flat tip here because touching the touchscreen with the COVID key I had difficulty with originally. So I'm excited to try this out. So let's go on out on my merry way throughout the day and see how this works. Every morning before work, I do the exact same thing. Well, I should say I go to 7-Eleven and I get a cup of coffee. Except day one of using the Hygiene Hand, I had a dentist appointment first. And I went there and they cleaned my teeth and then they did a fluoride treatment. And as I was leaving, they said, now remember, for the next 4 hours, no hot coffee. And I said, what? I didn't know that. I'm going to be using my Hygiene Hand today going to 7-Eleven. What am I going to do? Well, I'll show you what I'm going to do. They didn't say I couldn't have iced coffee, but did you see how I was able to use this for pretty much everything I was doing? Now, it takes some getting used to because you kind of have to remember to use it, but it did everything I needed it to do, and I really, really liked it. Now, let me show you some other things that I've done with it. I've gone to Walmart recently, and I purchased some things, and here is where I tried the touchscreen option. Take a look at this.
Select from list or key in the item's code. Select from list or key in the item's code. Insert cash or select payment type.
usually gonna say.
So did you see how that worked on the touchscreen? It was pretty impressive. It worked almost right away. Now, maybe I had a little bit of knowledge already because I've been using the COVID key and I sort of knew what to do, but I will say the flat front here on the Hygiene Hand made it easier for me than this angle. It took a little more getting used to. Now, that being said, it is still trial and error using the Hygiene Hand, and sometimes I push it and maybe the button pushes twice and then I have to go back and do it again. So it does take some trial and error, but I will say I've used this a lot on touchscreens and different things, and it's worked out really, really good. Let me tell you a funny story. So do you remember earlier when I unboxed this, I talked about this expandable keychain thing and how much I really, really like it? Well, I keep it on my right side. I keep it on my belt loop. So whenever I need it, I'm able to just go whoop and use the Hygiene Hand whenever, right? So the other day I was pulling into a store. I turned the car off. I opened the door. I went to get out and I got yanked back into the car. I was like, man, that was weird. What ended up happening is the Hygiene Hand actually got hooked around my emergency brake, and then this thing started stretching as I was getting out, and it got to the end and it snapped me right back. Now, normally you would think, I'm not a small guy, right? One of these things would absolutely break. This is pretty decent quality. Now, I'm not willing to keep trying it out over and over and over to see if it can yank me back every time. One, for my back, and two, I really don't want to break it. But I was pretty impressed with the durability of this thing. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to show you some other uses that I have been using the Hygiene Hand over the past week. Let's take a look at some things I've been doing. So, tell me, what do you think about products such as the Hygiene Hand or even the COVID key? Would you use one of these? Would you recommend one of these? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. So let me tell you what happened the other day. I was at a store buying some things because that's what you do at a store, and I went to cash out and I actually had to sign for my purchases. I was like, sweet. Anyway, I turned around and there's like 25 people waiting in line, one cashier. So I did use my Hygiene Hand. I signed perfectly, first try, hit next, and it went on. I was disappointed that I couldn't video it, but I was not going to upset the people waiting in line. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you on a phone. I'm going to sort of model what it looks like to use the signing feature so you can see for yourself. I wish I could have got it at the store, but I didn't. I was being a good friend. So take a look at this. All right, so now we're going to symbolize the touchscreen feature. Do you know that guy? I know him. All right, so let's edit this picture. Let me find the paint part. There it is up here. Yep, draw. That's what I want to do. There we go. I already have it right there on the pen. That's great. Now let's see if we can sign your name. Well, for some reason, it picked up. There, look, you can sign your name. That was pretty exciting. I will say make sure you're using the flat part here, not the edge like I started to. And then it does take some getting used to, but as you can see, you can sign on there and use it as a stylus, so to speak. Pretty cool. In this video, we've been looking at a product called Hygiene Hand by the company Stat Gear. Remember these? They sent me a bunch of these stickers. My son has taken a lot of them. So this product can be found on their website and it can be found on Amazon. But real quick, I want to tell you, be careful if you go to Amazon and just look up Hygiene Hand or COVID key, because there are a lot of sellers out there and some of them are being dishonest, saying they're selling either the COVID key or the Hygiene Hand when they are not. They retail for about 25 bucks. So if you see those 3 for $20 ones, walk away. Both of these were made in America, one by Millspin, one by Stat Gear. They are made out of brass, so they are antimicrobial. Let me tell you a little bit about my experience throughout the week. I find that I use this all the time. I love that it's on my hip and I can use it really all the time. I like that it's heavy duty, it's a nice weight. So for me, this is something I'm going to be keeping on my side for a long while. Anyway, this was my review of the Hygiene Hand by the company called Stat Gear. This was Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Hygiene Hand. And just because I referenced it during the video, I'm going to post one of the videos I put out of the COVID key. I'm going to link it right here. Make sure you're logged into YouTube so you can see this. And by the magic of the internet, when you click on this link right here, I'm going to join you at that video. Go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.